Hey everybody, it's Ken here, back for CCG vlog number 7. So we're going to go over this upcoming weekend's schedule. We're going to go over the CSOP events for this weekend, and then a new segment that we're going to call, hold on, I wrote it down, Random Rule of the Month. So that'll be like a random tournament poker rule that we'll go over and kind of discuss. And obviously, if you guys have any questions about the rules or, rules questions in general, certainly shout them out at us. So let's get started. We'll go over the weekend schedule. Let's see. We have 3 events this weekend. Friday, July the 20th, we are going to be at the Max in McCook. Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd, we are going to be at St. Andrews Golf Course in West Chicago. That's the golf course, Route 59 and like North Avenue. It's just a little north and west of there, but basically on the corner of Route 59 and North Avenue in West Chicago. We are there on Saturday and Sunday. It's a really good spot. Plus, being that we're there 2 days in a row and the internet's really good, we will have the TV table up and running both Saturday and Sunday. So we'll do some deep stack final tables, and we'll do some cash games on there as well. Maybe even squeeze off a little Omaha. We'll see how it goes. So make sure if you can come and see us Friday at the Max or Saturday and Sunday at the St. Andrews Golf Course in West Chicago. Be sure to check us out on Facebook because we will live stream the RFID table both Saturday and Sunday. Lord willing, as long as there's no technical difficulties. So let's go over the CSOP events for this weekend. So Friday is CSOP event number 23, good old Michael Jordan. It's the $120 Six Max Shootout. This is really 2 formats kind of colliding together. It's a Six Max tournament, which means you will never play at a table with more than 6 players, and a shootout format, which means each table is its own entity. Every table will play down until 1 player, and then that 1 player will advance to the next level, which is typically the final table. And, then play will continue from there. It's just as a normal final table. So if 1 table has 6 players at it and 1 table has, 2 players at it, we don't balance the tables. The shootout is, each table is its own shootout. You have to win your table to advance to the final table. So the way registration works for that is as soon as we get 6 players, we will start a table. And then players 7 through 12 will be at table number 2, and then 13 through 18 will be the next set of players, and just so on and so forth from there. And being that it's a 6 max shootout, we'll only sell 6 spots per table. And then we will, one person per table will advance to the final table. You will be in the money if you advance from your table, and so that'll be a fun little tournament. Something a little different. Saturday's CSOP event is event number 24. It is the $120 HA tournament. HA is half pot limit Omaha, half pot limit Hold'em. So all pot limit, half the time you're going to be playing Omaha, half the time you're going to be playing Hold'em. Typically, it'll switch every blind level, right? So every odd level will be Hold'em. Every even level will be Omaha. So theoretically, if you love playing pot limit Hold'em, but you hate playing pot limit Omaha, you just play half the tournament, and you'll be good to go. You'll know exactly when you're going to be playing each game. Pot limit's super fun. You can't just go all in. You can only bet up to whatever is in the pot. So if there is $600 in the pot, I can bet $600, and then if the player I'm up against decides to raise a pot-sized bet, it will be 3 times my bet plus whatever is in the middle. We call it 3 times the bet plus the trail. The nice thing is the dealers are really good at pot limit, or at least the ones that deal it, and you can always ask the dealer how much is in the pot, how much you can bet, all that kind of good stuff. It's a little different than No Limit, where you cannot ask how much is in the pot. You cannot ask what the other players are doing, other than just to count out their chips. So pretty cool. Pot Limit Hold'em and Pot Limit Omaha. That's the 4 o'clock tournament on Saturday. Sunday is the noon CSOP event number 25, the $300 Black Bounty Tournament. This is a $300 tournament. And the way that this one breaks down is it's really a $200 tournament with a $100 bounty. So for every player you knock out, you will earn $100 cash guaranteed. And then if and when you are knocked out of the tournament, you'll give up your original bounty chip, keeping all the other black chips that you have won. So it's pretty juicy. And I mean, bounty tournaments are fun. They're a little different. You get a lot more calls and all-ins because people really want those bounty chips. But it's nice. You would knock one player out and you're a third of the way paying back your buy-in. So, knock out 2 guys in the same hand and you're basically free rolling. So that's pretty cool. The Black Bounty tournament, you typically get, or you're going to get 30,000 in chips, 25-minute levels. So 30K in chips, 25-minute levels. That does include your $10 add-on. That's Sunday at noon. So that is our schedule for the week. That is our CSOP events for the week. Now we're going to go over random rule of the month. Now, don't hold me to it. Sometimes we might do once a month. Sometimes we might do every week. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just kind of throwing these segments out there and seeing what you guys like. Hopefully you like it, and we can keep doing it. So for those of you that don't know, CCG and most card rooms uses the TDA set of rules as our official rules for all of our tournaments. It also includes our cash games, although there's always a few house rules for cash games, stuff that's just slightly different than a tournament. But for the most part, 99% of the time, tournament rules are what you're used in every aspect of the games played at Chicago Charitable Games. So I recommend that if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, you can download a pretty cool app that's just the TDA app. It's free. It's got all of the rules written out. It's very easy to read, and I recommend that everybody does it. It's nice to know the rules so that you're not at a disadvantage by another playing, knowing the rules and trying to use them against you, which is what Random Rule of the Month is going to kind of go over. So today we're going to talk about an easy one, something that came up this past weekend. It is rule number 17 in the TDA handbook. It is non-all-in showdowns and showdown order. And really what I wanted to talk about was the showdown order. People always seem to kind of not want to show their cards, right? We're embarrassed to show our bad cards and what we called or raised the whole way down with to the river. And really where this comes down to is if there's a bunch of action on the turn and the river comes and it's check, check, which player is supposed to show first? It is always in order of play, meaning the person to the left of the dealer is going to show first over the player to the right of the dealer. So if the 1 seat and the 5 seat are the last 2 players in the hand and neither one of them really want to show, the dealer's going to make the 1 seat show his cards first because he is the person who has to show first, and then the 5 seat can show. So theoretically, the 1 seat could show 10 high, and the 5 seat could go, that's good, and muck them, and we're good to go. And then obviously the one seat will win the pot. It brings up the situation that happened this past weekend. People always ask, well, I want to see that hand that the 5 seat folded, even though it's not the winning hand. Does a player have the right to ask to see that hand? And the answer is pretty easy. The answer is no. The only person who has a right to ask to see another player's cards after showdown, if the bet was called or it was checked all the way down, again, we go in that order of show, to determine who has to show first. So the 1 seat shows and the 5 seat realizes he can't win and he goes to muck his cards, and another player quickly says, I want to see that hand, right? It was a called hand or it was a hand that went to showdown. I want to see it. And again, the answer is no. Not everybody at the table has a right to see another player's hand, even if it goes all the way to showdown or even if that player's bet was called on the river. The only time a player can see another player's cards is if I have a live hand. So in our situation that we talk about, the 1 seat has a live hand. He shows his hand, 8 high, 10 high, whatever I said it was. And the 5 seat says that's good and goes to muck his cards. And somebody else at the table says, can I see that hand? The answer is no. The only guy who could ask to see the cards is the player in the 1 seat because he still has a live hand. So he can ask to see another player's cards. Even though you're allowed to ask as the 1 seat because you have a live hand and you can ask to see all the other cards that are still out there, it is very poor etiquette. You have already won the hand. I understand you would like to get some information from that 5 seat, but it's just really taboo to ask to see a hand that you've already beaten. It's, kind of a nice poker saying of be humble, just accept the pot and move on, and that's fine. You won the hand. That's more important than knowing what the other player had. Again, this is why we have that predetermined rules for how a player has to show their cards, and then the same thing for when a player can ask to see a card. So if you really want to see another player's cards and you have a live hand, you can ask for it. I don't recommend doing that because, again, it's just poor etiquette, right? It's not something you're supposed to do, but that is the rule. So if you do not have a live hand, you do not have the right to ask to see another player's cards. That's really going to do it for this week. Again, hope you like our new segments. Let us know in the comments below if you've got something. So we did last week, is it the right call? This week we're doing a random rule of the month. I got a couple of other ones we want to do, like a Q&A and maybe some suggestions from you guys. But again, this is really for you, the players at CCG. So I want to know, what do you want to see in the vlog? What do you want to hear about? It's great. We're always going to go over the schedule and kind of the special tournaments that are coming up. It's nice that we have the CSOP, so we always have special tournaments to talk about. But I'd really like to hear from you guys. What do you want to see? Do you want to know about rules? Do you want to know about hand? Should he call? Should you raise? What should we do? I don't know. Let me know what you guys want to do. So hopefully you'll share us, you'll like us. If you're watching us on YouTube, which we're up on now, you can see us at youtube.com/CCG Poker Live. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Yeah, thank you for watching. Let us know if you have any questions. See you guys at the table. Thanks, everybody.